want to thank you for having honored us with chairing the NAM for this period. Thank you for putting so much trust in us. Now, in these 4.5 million years, we have two categories of problems. Category number one is oppression of man by nature. That's how it all started, where you have natural phenomena like floods, like drought, like a disease, like earthquake, like hunger, oppressing people. However, man, because of the intelligent brain, has been finding solutions along the way. And that's why we here in Uganda, we regard the development of science and technology as the primer of human change. It's not correct for people to mix up issues. I've told you that operation of man, number one, has been operation by nature. Here in Africa, we are still suffering from a bit of that. We get droughts, we get famine sometimes in some of the countries, lack of electricity, disease. We still have those burdens. But we are struggling to control them. Here in Uganda, we are struggling. Now, the second operation is operation of man, by fellow men. This came along when man was beginning to advance. Smaller groups of human beings started trying to control other groups. This is what causes now conflict among the human groups. So therefore, the two conflicts must all be well understood. Once there is advance in the control of nature through science, we should be very happy, and there should be no conflict. I don't see why anybody would worry that country X and B and C have come up out of poverty. They have come up, they are more prosperous. After all, if you want to do business, why do you want to do business with a poor man, a poor partner? How much will he buy from you? Why don't we want all our partners to be prosperous so that we can do better business? Business is production and consumption. If you produce and nobody buys, there will be no business. So it is very important for all of us to understand this dynamic of business has two sides, production and consumption. In Europe, when there was changes in Europe, after Adam Smith helped Europe to understand the efficiency of the private sector, in his book of 1776, The Source of the Wealth of Nations, there was rapid growth of industries, but consumption remained stagnant. And in 1929, the capitalist system collapsed. Why? Demand. You cannot talk of business if you don't talk of the purchasing power of all your partners. If you look at the GDP of Africa now, I think it is like maybe 4 trillion now, but this is too small. If the GDP per capita of Africa was about 20,000. Given that we are now 1.5 billion people here in Africa, you'd be talking of a GDP of 30 trillion. Why should Africa have a GDP of about 4 trillion now, when we are 1.5 billion? If the GDP per capita went to about 20,000, you can see, I think we would go to about 30 trillion. If it goes to 25,000, we would go maybe to 45 trillion. And our partners would benefit because we would buy more from them. So therefore, I salute the non-aligned movement. Our elders who started it did us a great service because they achieved a number of things. Number one, neutrality. At that time, there was a conflict between the socialist camp and the capitalist camp. And our elders said, no, for us we want to be neutral. We don't want to take sides. We want to judge issues on merit. So therefore, we should concentrate on the minimum common interests in the world. This is my humble advice. I'm speaking to you as a third generation anti-colonial fighter from Africa. I came as the third generation of the 1960s, following our elders like Mandela and Nyerere and others of the 1940s, and the ones of 1912, who founded the ANC in South Africa. These were our grandfathers. So my advice to people in the world is that let's concentrate on minimum mutually beneficial interests. And these are trade, investments, tourism, and mutual support in any other area. Then where we don't agree, where we have got divergences, those are internal issues. Let me salute our founders. I don't know whether the young generation knows them. And these were Nehru of India, Sukarno of Indonesia, Tito of Yugoslavia, Nasser of Egypt, Zhou Enlai of China was there in that meeting in Bandung. Then others joined later like Mwalimu Nyerere, Kenneth Kaunda, Modibo Keita, and others. We salute those people. They gave us a good beginning. But I'm very happy when I look around, see all of us together, I can see we may be the hope of the world. We people who are here, we will be the hope of the world. And I thank you for coming here, and I wish you good luck. Thank you so much.